Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 9 U.S. cruiser Baltimore. She has 9 main guns on 3 turrets, 12 secondary, 83 AA guns, and has a top speed of 33 knots. We're on the map Islands of Ice. I spawned in on the south side, and I head straight for B. Why do I head straight for B? Because usually only one other ship heads for B. Most of the time, it's a huge melee at A. B has 1 or 2, C has a couple, and D has nobody, or 1 person. So I always like to try and get as many advantages as I can up front, so late in the game it gives us more strategic options. So I'm taking fire from enemy battleships. Clearly, they see me either because of the aircraft in the area, or a destroyer in front of them, probably the aircraft. And I return fire. The Baltimore has great rate of fire. It's, you're getting up there, you're getting into the cruisers that are just so good. Baltimore, the Des Moines is amazing. And you got amazing AA also. And they just released a patch where they unlocked the final tiers of the Japanese carriers. In this game, I didn't have that build, but I have been running with all the AA stuff just because it's so annoying. There's so many aircraft in the air. You really got to experience it if you don't have a high tier. Just the 9 and 10, it's just a wall of aircraft. So, we're firing on this New Mexico. He's forward from his team. He's in range of me. I'm going to out-DPS him. There's no question I'm out-DPSing him. He's a Tier 6 battleship to my Tier 9 cruiser. So I'm going to obviously continue firing on him. My friendly has captured B for me, so I don't need to move that far forward. And he's using the island to screen himself from the enemy battleships, which is exactly what I was going to do. That's the thing you need to do on this map. You need to use those islands to screen. If you get in a situation where there's multiple enemies that are in range that can fire on you, the best thing to do is to use the islands to line of sight block so they can't return fire. And you want to minimize to 1, maybe 2, and this New Mexico is just taking tons of damage. I'm running HE. At this range, I want to burn him down. And apparently I took fire from the left side. I didn't see. Don't see him on the map. The other battleship is firing on me, but, he's not really hitting me. It's not really a big deal. We could finish off the Mexico. Are we going to get this New Mexico? Nope, nope. He's going to probably burn down before I can get a round out. Yeah, he's definitely going to burn down. Alright, cool. 1 battleship down. Yeah. We've got B. There's a enemy destroyer that showed up. Cool, I'll just fire on him. The US cruisers are great at killing destroyers too. So is Japanese cruisers too, but the rate of fire, and you just send a wall of rounds downrange. Feels great. Now, ideally, a battleship should feel comfortable taking on a cruiser. That's generally the ship that they're designed to defeat, right? Well, as a high tier, it's your role to basically carry. You need to do the most damage you can do. So my goal is to just find the weak one and kill him. Use the cooldown of my guns. Yeah, the rotation is what's causing a slowdown, because I'm not going to probably get a shot on this guy before... Yep, he disappears, unfortunately. But you really want to keep using your gun cooldown. And for some reason, this destroyer got close, and his smoke ended, so I'm just going to fire on him. I feel like he probably dropped torpedoes. And we're able to take out his engine. He's probably going to use damage control. And sure enough, yep, he did, because you don't see the fire on the smokestacks. And I fire where I think he is. We're able to land 6 shots, set him on fire. Now, if it's a battleship, the fire won't stick, because damage control lasts for like 10 or 15 seconds on a battleship. For a destroyer. It's probably under 5 seconds, so he's probably burning down. Just trying to... Yep. Just need to confirm. You know, there's an island in the way, Notser. That's okay. He's probably gonna stay until he drops off radar, and then we won't see him again. But we have control over B. The enemy is taking D, but we got to benefit a little bit from it. And we are taking C, so that's good for us. The enemy carrier has sent aircraft squadrons around, but not at. You can just hear the guns just take them out so quick. Tons of aircraft hitting the water. And we're looking at this enemy battleship. This is the Amagi, I believe. He is a tier 8 battleship, so he's one tier below us. But he still has a very effective armament. He's got 5 turrets with a total of 10 guns. So we want to stay out of his range of secondaries. But we want to get some damage down. And he's only got 1 burn going. We could get the front half, we could get the back half, and then we could get the back middle set on fire, and that would be a lot of extra damage. And it looks like his crew is able to put it out, and because I set him on fire and I didn't see it, that means he used damage control. So this island's going to interrupt the engagement. Thank you, island. And I'm going to fire back on him. His damage control immunity should be off. So if these land and they set him on fire, great. We're able to do almost 8k. That's awesome. 1 more salvo, and if it was a Des Moines, we would have reloaded fast enough. We were able to fire in between, but it wasn't. Friendly was able to take the kill. That's fine with me. You know, it's not as sexy, but we got the job done. We did a lot of damage. And I noticed while that engagement was occurring, the destroyer showed up behind that little island. Yep, and there he is. Somewhere in that smoke, the destroyer is. And I see that that friendly battleship is taking torpedo attacks, so I try and move close to help with AA support. And here comes torpedoes from the enemy destroyer. This tells me it was a long-range release, and he sends it on one side of the island and on the other, and I noticed that, so I slow down. I don't think everyone realizes just how much slowing down or changing the speed affects the chance of torpedo strikes. It's a really effective strategy in combination with maneuvering 2. So we're able to avoid those torpedoes. Our friendly battleship is still alive, and we know there's an enemy destroyer in the vicinity. So we are going hunting for a destroyer. And I love my scout plane for scouting enemy destroyers. Oh, he popped up. Oh man, he's coming around and he's close. He's gonna take full lead here. And we kill him in 1 salvo there. Now he was 50%, but it's nice to land all your shots the first time you see the enemy. So, we've got full control over the middle of the map, which, in my opinion, on Islands of Ice is the most important. The combination of islands and the area of the map really gives you a lot of power. You can deny aircraft a speedy attack run. You can take out, you can chip damage to them, take a couple of their squadrons. Oh, by the way, I noticed on one of the patch notes that if you select a squadron, apparently it'll just straight up be more damage than, say, if it's the only enemy in the vicinity. I always assumed you were at max capability if there's a single squadron over you versus selecting with your cursor. But apparently that selection with the cursor somehow increases your DPS overall. They had an example where the Cleveland was doing something like 100 seconds to kill an Essex fighter, whereas with the selection for focus fire, they were doing something like 70 seconds. So that's a pretty huge increase in damage output. But I need to compare, but I'm committed to always selecting anything that's in range of my AA guns from here on out. And yes, this bomber, I feel he's coming, and I'm going to use defensive fire. And he got lucky. He got one of his bombers lands their attack. And that Fubuki is broadside, so I feel like he dropped torpedoes. But we're able to do a lot of damage because look how close he is. Take out steering. We're going to put out the fire because the bombing run is done. We're going to stay away from the smoke. I repeat, stay away from the smoke. Only death comes from going into smoke following a destroyer. We're just going to sit and B, and we're denying this tick. Now, if you notice, we have 1 tick, and they get 2 ticks. Even though they have 3 bases, sitting on bases, even if you haven't decapped or, you know, capped it yourself, you're still denying them that point total. So it's still beneficial to sit in a cap that you can't capture. When we land a big shot, we do 6K on this Fubuki. We take out another module. We're just trying to reload in time. We're gonna fire again. It looks good, but we're just not enough. Burn down! Burn down! And he sent out his torpedoes. But, you know, the game's ending, and I'm not paying attention to that until it comes up and flashes my screen. You know what? We left a kill out there, but we were able to do, you know, so much damage. We were very helpful for our team, both anti-aircraft and anti-ship, and maintaining control over the center. We helped win the game for the team. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Baltimore on Islands of Ice. I certainly enjoyed playing this game. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you guys next time.